In this video, we're going to talk about bad child behavior examples. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, child development, and education, all through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're talking about bad behavior. In this video, we're going to talk about examples of bad behavior, and then I'm going to share with you the teaching self-government solution for some of those bad behaviors. If you're new to this channel, the whole channel is about self-government. I look through the lens of self-government, which is that each person has the ability to choose self-mastery. They can make choices and changes in their own behavior whenever they want to, especially if someone takes the time to set up the environment and to teach them how to do this. So let's talk about some bad behaviors. What are some of the things that you're seeing? I'm sure in the comments you could probably list many more than we have time for in this video, but let's start with some of the main bad behaviors that many parents deal with. One bad behavior that so many parents deal with is sibling rivalry. This is the siblings attacking each other, yelling at each other, maybe even getting violent with each other, like hitting each other. The children are crossing over boundaries. They're also not remembering that the family is supposed to have certain types of relationships. So in the teaching self-government parenting approach, we create a family vision that helps the whole family get invested into what type of relationships they want to have for the future. Once that family vision is created, then that is an understood instruction. Now, there are 4 basic skills of self-government that we teach the children. The first of those 4 basic skills, the most basic of them all, is how to follow instructions. So when we declare that something is an understood instruction, which just means that this instruction is standing, nobody has to tell you, be nice to your brother and sister, that's an instruction for right now. This is just a standing instruction. If they don't follow that standing instruction, which is doing all 5 steps of that skill of following instructions, then they can be corrected. And I will use my effective correction skill with the child. And they know what that is, they anticipate that, it's completely predictable because we are a planned, self-governed family. This makes it so that we don't have to engage in emotional power struggles and manipulation with our children. Speaking of manipulation and lying, that's another really big behavior problem that a lot of parents deal with. There are certain times that children are more enticed to lie, be dishonest, and manipulate than others. It's usually the smarter children that get into the lying and the manipulating because they start trying to think about how many things that they can control just by changing the dialogue a little bit. Smart people like to see how many pieces they can move at a time. So congratulate yourself that your child is smart, but then be sure to teach them that lying and dishonesty and deceit, manipulation, all of those things are not okay, and they're actually bad for the relationships. In fact, there is a skill that you can use to teach honesty to your children, and that is accepting no answers. So if a child is tempted to tell a lie, they need to be able to give themselves a no answer about that lie. There are 4 steps to that basic skill of accepting a no answer. If they don't follow those 4 steps, which the last step is probably going to be the one that gets them in trouble if they don't follow it, that is the skill to drop the subject. If they choose not to drop the subject, then you do need to do a correction, and again, you would use that effective correction skill, which is one of the 5 teaching styles for parents in the TSG parenting approach. Let's list some of the other bad behaviors that parents could be dealing with, and I'll give you just quick solutions for what you can do to stop these bad behaviors. What about the child who won't wake up on time? Well, they're not following an instruction. It could be an understood instruction or one that you give right in the moment. They need to be corrected for that. What about the child who's yelling or swearing? Again, not accepting a no answer, so you would correct them for that. But you also could correct them for not disagreeing appropriately, because if they are talking back to you in any way, whether it's swearing or otherwise, then they are not disagreeing appropriately with you. They need to do it according to the steps of the skill, disagreeing appropriately. What about if your child earns a negative consequence? Maybe they lose the opportunity to play a video game or play with a friend, or maybe have their phone, and they get grumpy about it. They get mean, they start throwing things. What is the problem there? Well, they're not accepting a consequence. That's another one of our 4 basic skills, but they're probably out of instructional control, which means that you need to do something which we call the rule of 3, especially if they're an older child. Now, older children and younger children do need a little bit different intervention when it comes to out of control behaviors, but the focus is always the same: calmness. If you can teach your child what calmness is and what it isn't, and how to focus on it in the moment, even when they feel themselves going out of control, that can actually be liberating for them and bring them back to a place of self-government, even if they are not feeling completely up to that control yet. If they've got the skills to hold on to, that can bring them to self-government even when they're starting to shift to mid or back brain. There are many things that can happen behaviorally with children. And I know that we could list bad behaviors forever, but I hope you're understanding that the teaching self-government system is designed to handle all of those behaviors. In fact, for many years, I did therapeutic treatment care for troubled children. When they would come into my home with a lot of their teenage problems, their trauma issues, their neurodiversity, guess what I did? All of the skills and principles of self-government that I used with my biological children who did not have those neurodiversities. However, they were all strong-willed. Everyone used the same skills because they are adult skills and they do work for everyone, even me. When someone cuts me off in traffic, instead of griping about it and complaining or sticking my hand out the window and yelling, I just accept the no answer. I drop the subject and move on with my day. That is the type of thing that we need to teach our children to do so that they can be successful adults too. And it is possible. In order to learn more about these skills and how to set up an environment where self-government can happen in your home, watch my next video, which is all about child behavior management. Click on the link to that video. I'll see you there.